What's up, guys? We're here with Mo, bringing us a deck profile of Chaos. What place did you get?
5 through 8th.
Good enough. All right, so let's start with your deck.
Alright, so starting off, we have Carbon. Carbon's a starter. He searches any grade 1 or lower in your deck. Pretty much kickstarts your opening turns. And also, you can call him to the side and make him an attacker if you have the resources to waste on it. Next, we have 8 crates. 4 imaginary plane because he goes back into deck to stall out for pretty much decking out. And then 4 other crits if you're choosing. As long as they're 5k, that's all that matters. Next, we have 4 draws. You really want draws because you need combo pieces inside this deck, and pretty much you need and defensive draws are probably the most powerful thing inside this game. After that, we have Katrina. She is good because she allows for Soul Blast 1 and Unflip. Even though she's not a Starvator name, which can be dangerous if she gets into damage, she still puts in work. Moving on to grade 1s, we have 4 PGs. Starvator ones instead of the Unflip ones because it allows you to, if they have 3 or more lock cards, lets you draw 1, along with having the name, so you're not clogged up in damage. It really allows you to keep hand advantage and keep on going. Next, we have 4 Strife Harder for Starvator. If you strive for a Chaos card, Soul Blast 1, Trick Test them for Chaos. So pretty much any for your grade 3s. You can either ditch it for Deluge, or you can call it as a rearguard attacker. Next, we have Zinc. She is the consistency of your deck. Surf into Soul Charge 2, and Flip 2, pretty much kickstarts all your plays. And you always want to go into her from Carbon first turn after you use your resources with your strides. After that, we play 1 Metanax, 1 Volt Line. Volt Line for Carbon plays, and if you get early games and you have to stay early game, Metanax allows you to make sure you have early game, mid game power, but he's alright. Moving on to grade 2s, 1 Iron. You can play him as a filter because there's a lot of choices. You can either play extra Unicorn or any other. I want a high grade 2 count and more beast sticks, so I put 1 of him in.
No Dust Tails?
Or Dust Tails. Dust Tails is also another good option because you can call him after Carbon after you get rushed.
Alright.
Next, for Globa, he pretty much puts cards from drop zone onto field as locked. He puts space on the field for Deluge to give less options for your opponent, along with getting plus 6k if they have 2 more lock cards. Next, 4 of her. She's MVP. She is Counterblast 2, Universe a card from their hand. This is so powerful because of the because you pretty much just get mileage so much from her. Even though she's an AK, you can burn her as a resist after, and you can even use her early game if they have a lock card. And finally, for Photons, on call, lock a card, you choose, solid card, feature rare, shiny.
Opinions on the new Photon?
New Photon, New Photon isn't as good as other Photons because your opponent chooses, and also the fact that it's during battle phase, so it can be burned out. While it does give a nice power boost being a booster and the plus 5k, the number over time doesn't really matter, as your deck really isn't going to get the mileage. It's better to, I believe it's better to shut down than have extra power on turns. Next, we run 4 Crisis. MVP, you always want to ride him. He blows up a card, he locks a card, he's your engine. He allows you to blow up cards on your opponent's turn to draw, and pretty much if you don't ride him, you're going to have a bad time. 2 Chaos Breaker. He's a Chaos name, and he's better than Chaos Bringer. Next are Strides. We have, for Strides, for Universe. Universe is pretty much your staple first stride. You take a card out of their hand, put it down as open, your guard's locked. If you have 2 or more face up on G-Zone, you can lock in their card. First stride, pretty much. Also, he allows you to filter Katarinas out of your damage by putting them face down. Rather than just having the Katarinas and damage be dead cards. Next, for Glue Ball. He is the power play of your deck. Not only does he lock down the field during later stride turns, he really gives front row power and pretty much bumps up your numbers, allowing for you to hit for very high numbers and also pretty much lock down your opponent. Also, he's very good at stalling your opponent for 2 turns, because if you glue ball and then they have no way of getting rid of the lock cards, you can just not retire of Chaos and go for glue ball again to keep on swinging it, and also have continuous locks. After that, we have 2 Deluges. Deluge is a very unfair card, in all honesty. He pretty much makes this deck work. He gives a damage. He has low cost of only Soul Blast 1, Ditch 1. Compared to other cards, he doesn't take a Counter Blast, which also matters a lot. You can Deluge and also her in the same inside the same turn, and you pretty much just get free cards out of hand.
I see.
Next, we have our one-ofs. We have 1 GBA, 1 Amnesty. Amnesty for the Link Joker matchups. And GBA for if they run a high retire deck or cards that get run away. For example, maybe Night Rose or Gaia, for example, which I did face round 1. And I locked 5 cards from her hand with effect.
And you don't feel uncomfortable with only running 1 Messiah?
Coming up, you'll see why I only run 1 Messiah. So I'm running 2 Destiny Guardians, which pretty much is
Messiah.
But allows for Chaos Breaker to activate during your opponent's turn and blow up a card that you unlocked, and still get plus 10k shield. I say he's better than running 2 Amnesty, because it's better just to have the spot open. He also is the only one of the few Link Joker strides that actually gets power, but he does rely on having lock cards.
Easy for this deck, I guess.
Next is 1 Machine Deity. He's Soul Blast 1. If there are 2 lock cards on the field, draw a card. Simple and clean. He allows you a filter to make sure you don't have to use a Crisis effect on a Griffin to unlock and blow up. If you, at the end of the turn, you can unlock and then blow up a Crisis for net 2 during your opponent's turn to replenish any cards that you use. And lastly, Katrina. She's a G-Flip. She helps you get to GBA faster. She also locks back row. She's not as useful because of this format having both Thavaz in it, which is really the resist force, honestly. She's still good though, because you can call her and then just Soul Blast 1, unflip, and just not use effect.
I'm assuming you mainly used her just for the heal triggers though.
Yes. And pretty much that's my build.
I see. Any matchups that you want to mention? I was really tough or just in your favor?
For matchups, I faced in my favor.
Or just any good or matchup that's memorable.
Memorable matchups, I faced a Tsukiyomi player, which I pretty much timed. I almost decked him out and timed him out. I played against a anti-lock Liberator deck that almost won because he crit sacked me, but good dude. but I quick sat back and then was able to break him down with Deluge. Deluge also has the ability to if your opponent doesn't have resources, you can low damage them by just deluging one after another because the card goes face down. But that's pretty much it.
Any shoutouts?
Shout out to Ben Stad because he's a real MVP.
Yeah, my dad really is.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Nicky Goldman.
Top 4 player right there.
You know, going in with them overlords, snoring like a baby. Yep. All right then. Thanks guys for joining us. This has been Mo's Chaos deck. 58th place in ARG, right?
58th, somewhere in there, split. Sure.
Yeah. All right. See you later, guys.